Time is 5 o'clock. Good evening and welcome to the February 2024 meeting of the Omaha Public Power District Board of Directors. Thank you all for joining us in person at the Omaha Douglas Civic Center and remotely via WebEx. I hope you and your loved ones are staying safe and healthy. With me in person today are my fellow board members, Amanda Bogner, Mike Kavanaugh, Sarah Howard, Janice Molhoff, Craig Moody. We have received notice from Mary Spurgeon and Matt Core that they are unable to attend in person this evening, although I believe Director Spurgeon will be joining virtually. Great, thank you. We also have President and CEO Javier Fernandez, Troy Meyerson with the Fraser Stryker Law Firm, our General Counsel, and members of our board meeting support staff. OPPD's executive leadership team and support matter experts are also participating in today's meeting in person and via WebEx. Additionally, we currently have, let's say 3 in person in the room and also 3 attendees on WebEx, consisting of OPPD employees and members of the public. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I will now ask for a member of OPPD's physical security team to provide the safety briefing for our location and for Javier Fernandez to provide other safety reminders.
Good evening, everyone. Luckily tonight is a lot better than last month's weather, so that we can be thankful for. Real quick physical safety briefing. I want to make sure that everyone's feeling okay, and it sounds like those that weren't not feeling well didn't show up, so we want to make sure they're getting their rest and getting hydrated and getting well. Secondly, we want to take note of any emergency exits, which are on either side of our room. Also located there are AED first aid equipment as well as fire suppression materials. We also have extra first aid equipment in the back if anyone's in need. If anybody does need any help, please reach out to any member of OPPD or the members of the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. We'll get you help as quickly as possible. If we had to evacuate, we'd use those exits and exit to the outside of the building. If we had to take shelter for any type of storms, we would just take shelter in the stairways going down into the parking areas. And then finally, environmental hazards, trips and falls we want to watch out for. We have a lot of different things within the room, but then also even outside. So watch out for those types of things. And unfortunately, I think we are going to see some more winter weather. So please be careful driving this weekend and make sure you're prepared for any type of winter types of emergencies. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the president.
Thank you, Josh. I'll talk a little bit about culture of curiosity. And this is something that I mentioned on Tuesday, and the complex nature of what we do really requires us to have this culture of curiosity. No matter whether you're a one-day employee at OPPD or a 40-year-old veteran at OPPD, there's always a lot to learn. The industry is changing, technology is changing, the world around us, the climate is changing, and I think having that culture of curiosity is a key factor for us to have a respectful relationship and have the psychological safety we need in the organization to approach the table, to approach every conversation, knowing that there's always something to learn from others. I also took the opportunity to talk about cybersecurity. Our OPPD employees receive frequent training, and this is a topic of frequent discussion, to be aware of suspicious emails without clicking on malicious links. Bad guys are getting smarter and better every single day, and there are many ways in which we can fall prey to their attempts to infiltrate our systems. Something I also mentioned on Tuesday was the new term, at least it's coining now, of quishing, which is those QR codes that are used for phishing. So whenever during COVID, I think this became very popular. When you go to a restaurant, there's a QR code, you scan it, you access menus. There are some dangers with that too. So make sure that before you click on a QR code and you start clicking away, make sure that you apply the same criteria as you apply for phishing emails. Make sure that you know where this is coming from and that it's a safe and secure link to click. Going on to the next slide. The safety focus for February. The weather is nice. It's still winter, but we're having a lot of work done outside. Pre-job briefs become a very, very important part of the work we do. Before we begin a job, we always have safety briefings, pre-job briefings, make sure that we have situational awareness of what's around us, the work that we're about to embark on. Warming up to avoid sprain, strain, and tear injuries. I mentioned that we had the safest year on record yet in 2023. We had fewer injuries and lighter injuries measured by soft tissue injuries. But still, there are ways for us to avoid those, and that's with a correct warm-up and ergonomic position. And lastly, it was I would like to use this opportunity to remind everyone that February is Heart Health Month. And it's a time for when all of us can focus on our cardiovascular health. Good opportunity for us to do our annual checkup. If you haven't done it, highly recommend it. And with that, I conclude my safety briefing.
Thanks very much. Now let's run through the conduct for the meeting this evening. This regular board meeting will follow the agenda made available to the public on OPPD.com. This meeting is being conducted in person with WebEx conferencing and is being recorded. Our board meetings have public comment periods on the agenda. Comments made by all parties during the meeting are part of the official public record. After the introduction of action items, board members will ask clarifying questions from staff, and then I will ask for public comment. After public comment, the board will conduct its discussion of the matter and then vote. Also, before we adjourn, there will be an opportunity to comment on any other matters of district business. We will take comments in the room first and then via WebEx. For in-person attendees, if you wish to make a comment, please line up behind the microphone in the center of the room. Please state your name, address, and the name of any organization or person you represent. Each individual will be allotted 3 minutes per matter pending. To assist you, we will use the timer located in the center of the room. Ms. Lane will signal when you have 30 seconds remaining, as well as when time is up. If you have written material, please deliver them to Ms. Lane. For WebEx attendees, if you wish to make a comment, please send the meeting host a message using the chat feature or utilize the hand raise feature. Detailed instructions can be found on the OPPD website at the link shown on the screen. When I call on a member of the public to speak, please affirm that we can hear you before commencing with your comments. Please state your name, address, and the name of any organization or person you represent. Each individual will be allotted 3 minutes per matter pending. To assist you, we will use the timer on the screen and signal when you have 30 seconds remaining, as well as when time is up. If you have written materials, please email them to corporatesecretary@oppd.com, and they will be received on our behalf. For all attendees, please direct your comments to me. I will either respond to you directly or defer response to another board member or officer of the district. The board values and welcomes civil, respectful, clear, and concise communication from the public. During public comments, speakers shall refrain from repetitious, profane, or irrelevant comments. Speakers shall also refrain from polling the board, as such vote is not on the agenda and is prohibited by law. Ms. Lane, will you please take the roll call?
Director Bogner.
Here.
Director Kavanaugh.
Here.
Director Corr. Absent. Director Howard.
Here.
Director Mulhoff.
Here.
Director Moody.
Here.
Director Spurgeon is online. Director Williams.
Here.
Notice of the time and place of this meeting was publicized by notifying the area news media, by publicizing same in the Omaha World Herald, OPPD outlets, newsletter, oppd.com, and social media, by displaying such notice on the arcade level of Energy Plaza, and by emailing such notice to each of the district's directors on February 9, 2024. A copy of the proposed agenda for this meeting has been maintained on a current basis and is readily available for public inspection in the office of the district's corporate secretary. Additionally, a copy of the Open Meetings Act is available for inspection on oppd.com and in the meeting room. The consent agenda items are as follows. Item 6, approval of the January 2024 meeting minutes and the February 15, 2024 agenda. Item 7, SD6, safety monitoring report, resolution number 6630. Item 8, award RFP number 6122, 15 kV metal clad switchgear cubicles and switchgear enclosure, resolution number 6631.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Are there any, we discussed these items on Tuesday. 1 second, please. Are there any comments from anyone in the room on the consent agenda items? Are there any comments online? Great. Okay, with no comments, please call the roll.
Director Bogner. Director Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Director Corr. Absent. Director Howard.
Yes.
Director Mulhoff.
Yes.
Director Moody.
Yes.
Director Spurgeon's online. Director Williams.
Yes.
The board discussion action item is Item 9, appointment of Gina Lingell as Vice President, Safety and Facilities and Compensation Approval, Resolution Number 6632. Whereas the Vice President, Safety and Facilities is accountable to drive and own the development, nurturing, and commitment to OPPD's strong culture of employee safety. Whereas the Vice President, Safety and Facilities is accountable for the safety of our employees' individual health and job performance, for the buildings and resources utilized by those individuals every day, and for OPPD's preparedness to continue delivering essential service during emergency events. Whereas the Vice President, Safety and Facilities is accountable for oversight of the corporate direction for the effective and innovative design, delivery, and maintenance of all OPPD work locations and working environments. Whereas the Vice President, Safety and Facilities is accountable for adherence to and monitoring of the following strategic directive, SD6 safety. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Omaha Public Power District that the appointment of Gina Langell as Vice President, Safety and Facilities, and the compensation is set forth on the attached exhibit be and are hereby approved effective February 18, 2024.
So move.
Second.
All right, we talked about Ms. Langle's appointment on Tuesday at the board meeting. For the board's role in this is that we approve compensation. Ms. Langle was the selected appointee by CEO Fernandez, which is his role is to select his ELT team, and then the board's role is to approve compensation. However, the board, each of us had an opportunity to meet with Ms. Lingle, and several of us have known her for a while. And so we had an opportunity to discuss that in closed session. I personally am very supportive of this and would like to open it now for board discussion.
So I'm super excited about Gina coming back to OPPD. She had the opportunity to work with my mom when she was at OPPD, and my mother couldn't. MUD, thanks friends. It's been a long day. And my mother couldn't say enough positive, lovely, wonderful things about Gina. And so I'm thrilled that she's come back to OPPD and come back into this family.
Yeah, so it's been said several times that Gina has some big shoes to fill with Kevin's retirement. But just from meeting Gina briefly and discussions with her and looking at her resume, I know that the shoes that she brings are running shoes and steel-toed work boots. So we're happy to have you here and glad to have you on our team.
Great choice. Super excited to have Gina back on the team. So welcome.
I also was very privileged to have a chance to have a discussion with Gina, and I look forward to her bringing her experience from utility industries in Omaha, both in the past at OPPD and at MUD, to this position. I'm also very excited about the opportunity for collaboration with MUD. All of the public utilities in Omaha serve all of the members of the public, and I think our collaboration with MUD is going to be critical to achieve success for all the people in our community into the future. So your relationships with MUD will only help strengthen our ability to deliver on that mission. So very glad to have you here. And do we have any comments from anyone in the public? Okay. Do we have any comments online? Okay. Hearing none, roll call.
Director Bogner,
Yes.
Director Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Director Corr is absent, Director Howard,
Yes.
Director Mulhoff,
Yes.
Director Moody,
Yes.
Director Spurgeon is online, Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
If it's okay, Chair Williams, I would like to, as tradition, invite Ms. Langle to address the board.
Good evening. It was truly my pleasure to get reacquainted with a lot of you last week and also to meet some of you that I've met for the first time. It's a complete honor for me to be here before you today. And my message today is really of pride and gratitude. Throughout my time in public utilities, I have witnessed firsthand OPPD's mission and our core values at work, whether it be what we do every day or in the extreme emergencies that we do, such as low river levels, polar vortexes, ice jams, you name it, the unfortunate situations that we have been in truly never cease to amaze me how our employees can come together and they can have a passion to serve while honoring the community and having great care for each other. We understand that we have life essential services that we bring to this community, and we actually thrive on that. And it's not a responsibility that we take lightly. I am blessed to have worked at two great utilities in this area, and I am really excited to bring those experiences back to OPPD. I'm proud of the work we do, and I don't take for granted the great welcome that I've gotten since I've been back. It's important for us to also focus on our mission with safety and for both our employees and for our customers. And this can't be done without facilities to support that. So to you, the members of the board, to Mr. Fernandez, the executive leadership team, for the employees and all of the customers, it's with great pride that I am coming back to carry out the strategic vision and use the resources that are set and approved by the board to help us to go forward in our future. So together, I know that we can lead the way as we power the future. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Glad to have you. Next item on the agenda is the president's report.
Thank you, Chair Williams. It feels like it's a little bit of old news because we talked about this at the January meeting when we had that winter squall. We talked a little bit more in detail back then about the river freezing and the challenges we had with our baseload generation. Here I am to share the official numbers of how that cold temperature affected our baseload coal generation. You can see very low capacity factors on all 4 of our coal units. I can tell you unequivocally, these numbers are low because those units were offline because we didn't have water to operate them for many, many days during the month of January. Further, we had to take Nebraska City Unit 2 offline after the storm to make reparations and repair items that we had to repair that we couldn't do during the cold weather. This is just a reminder that even though the fuel supply was there, coal pile was there, it was reliable, it's not the only thing that these units run on. There are many other single points of failure that we have to constantly monitor and manage so that we can have those units running. And in this case, water is the main reason why you see the low capacity factors on our baseload generation. Next slide, please. On the opposite end, our balancing generation was very active. This is the 10% of the year, 10 to 15% of the time that these units run. I've said this many times, it's probably the most important 10 or 15% of the time when we need them. And sure enough, when we called on these units, they responded. All of our Cass County station, both units 1 and 2, Jones Street station in Sarpy County. Sarpy County had one of the units which was offline. It was a long-term maintenance project. It didn't come online, but the other 4 units were online with a lot of issues. With the cold temperature, we had to take them offline and bring them back online. But it was fantastic to see the plan working as it was originally designed to work. So you see those capacity factors higher than normal. Again, responding to the need of the generation we needed, not only in the Omaha metro area and the OPPD service territory, but across the entire Southwest Power Pool. Next slide, please. Our renewables, the capacity factor for renewables in January was 37%, 36.9%. Community solar was 9.9%, but really interesting to see a capacity factor for wind of 33.6%. This is typically lower for this time of the year. It was slightly higher, and as I mentioned last month, the same wind that caused the river to freeze on the other end was providing a lot of power generation, which provided a very nice hedge to our generation portfolio. Next slide, please. I'm going to go into advertisement mode if I can for a minute. This is really exciting news for our customer owners. The weatherization rebate program officially launched at the end of December of 2023. You can visit oppd.com/weatherization for more information today if you're watching online. Consumers who live in homes built in or before 2003 can choose from two key weatherization upgrades: attic insulation and energy efficient windows. You can find a lot more information on the website. We're really excited about these because these rebates should make weatherization improvements financially attractive for our customers. Why are we doing these? Because we want to empower our customers to decrease their energy consumption, to enhance home comfort and effectively reduce energy bills. We're excited about these. Our marketing teams are out, trying to do all the outreach possible, and this is one more way that we have to reach our customer owners. Next slide, please. You probably heard on the radio, and there were some news outlets that reported on Greener Together. The program launched in April of 2022, focusing on connecting community members and organizations to collectively build a greener community. All funds collected go towards selecting and supporting green projects within our community and OPPD's territory. During the latest project application, so we've had a few awards already, but the latest project application period, we received 18 applications for projects from local nonprofit organizations for green community-focused projects. Based on scoring results, the project review committee and voting members of the program have selected 2 projects to be funded. The first one is Free Farm Syndicate, which was awarded $80,000 for permanent infrastructure to increase yields and more sustainable, provide free, nutrient-dense local produce to Omaha residents in North and South Omaha. And the second awardee was Urban Bird and Nature Alliance, which was awarded $50,000 to replenish, restore, and maintain a healthy shade tree canopy throughout neighborhood right-of-ways, parkland, and green spaces in the North Omaha, Minnelusa area. Really excited to report on these, and we will report more the next time we have another round and more awards go out. Another exciting event happened just maybe a week or so ago. We had our annual customer meeting in 2024. This is a meeting where we have an opportunity to deepen relationships and connect with our largest customers, our largest industrial and largest commercial customers, by sharing what OPPD is doing to support economic growth, meet the increased demands to the grid, and how they can partner with OPPD on future energy efficiency and demand response programs. Energy efficiency and demand response was the topic for this year's event. There were lots of discussions, round tables, and really good conversations with attendees about projects that are already working on and projects that would like to work on regarding energy efficiency and demand response. Attendance for this event increased by 30% compared to last year, and we were thrilled. I had a chance to speak to the audience and talk to them about all the progress that we're making at OPPD, all the exciting projects we have, the gigantic load growth that we're experiencing, and a lot of them are very familiar with that because they are part of that growth. And it was a fantastic event. We look forward to more of these type of engagements with customer owners going forward. Next slide, please. This is a little bit of commercial and a little bit of bragging. This is fantastic. We reached a big milestone in January with our smart thermostat program. We beat our 2023 goal, and now we have over 15,000 devices enrolled in the program. Over the past 3 years, the program has grown from 8.7 megawatts to 24.5 megawatts of site management, demand response, a percentage increase of 182%. Just as a program overview, customers purchase their desired thermostat model. Customers then install and register the device. After you register your device, you as a customer can enroll and opt into the smart thermostat program, where you will receive a $75 initial bill credit for enrolling, and also receive an annual $20 bill credit every year in September for your continued participation in the program. The benefits for you as a customer is that smart thermostats have the potential to reduce heating and cooling by as much as 25%. So you save on your energy bill as well. And it helps, the utility helps OPPD manage our demand peak load and make sure that we have the right investments we need when we need them the most. If you want to learn more, you can visit oppd.com/smart www.omaha.gov/smart thermostat if you want to learn more. And hopefully if you don't have one, I encourage you to look into it and consider participating in the program. Next slide. Honoring our community. The pictures you see in front of you are from the event of Connecting the Dots that we held at Syracuse, which is a career exploration event in conjunction with the UNL Extension Office at the Kimmel Event Center in Syracuse. This is for rural 9th and 10th graders from Syracuse, Palmyra, Bennett, and Nebraska City. The students explore how to connect the dots from early high school through post-secondary into the workplace. Many, many careers that they can follow with OPPD. So that we're doing this to promote career choices and good education in order for us to get a good pipeline of potential employees. 2 more Connecting the Dots programs are scheduled in March to be held in Humboldt and Nebraska City. These are typically well attended and lots of energy, as you can imagine, with lots of students interested and excited about future career choices. Next slide, please. Hit the Streets, I mentioned this last month. Registration is open. I registered. My family is registered to run a virtual race. If you're ready and willing to run, whether it's virtual or in person, you want to walk, you want to run, we welcome you. This is a program where we, OPPD, along with MUD, we join forces to raise money for energy assistance programs throughout this event. The 17th annual Hit the Streets Run and Walk for Warmth will be held on March 2nd at Aksarben Village in Omaha, Nebraska. OPPD Board Director Matt Core and his wife Kathy, along with MUD Board Chair Jim Begley and his wife Rebecca, are co-chairs for this year's event. If you're interested, if you want to register, it's really easy. It took me about 3 minutes. You can register at hitthestreetsomaha.com, and again, all the proceeds go to our energy assistance program. And last, but certainly not least, this is an opportunity to remember those we lost in the line of duty. Christopher Merrill died on February 23rd, 1990, as a result of an electrocution that occurred while he was working near 23rd and Gregg Road in Bellevue. Chris was 29 and had been with OPPD for 2 years. According to Jerry Krause, the division manager of electric operations at the time, Chris was an exemplary employee and a perfect example of the type of person you like to have working for you. Chris was survived by his parents, 4 brothers, and 6 sisters. And with that, Chair Williams, I conclude my president's report.
Thanks very much. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do any members of the public in the room have a comment? If so, please approach the microphone.
David Begley, 4611 South 96th Street. During the Punic Wars, Cato the Elder was a senator. This is when Rome was fighting Carthage, and he ended every speech in the Roman Senate with the words, "Carthage must be destroyed." It eventually worked, so I'm thinking I'm just going to say this every time I get up here and speak. Open your eyes before it is too late. I previously informed you I was on the NRD board. We didn't have a $2 billion budget, but we had a big budget. And when I was there, we had a controversial thing, the Walnut Creek State Recreation Area. And there was opposition, and I voted for it because it was statutorily authorized for the NRD to engage in flood control projects and recreation. And I'll finish up with that a little bit more later here at the end. It was a split vote, but it was approved. I've told you previously that catastrophic man-made global warming is the biggest scam in the history of the world. Here is more proof of that. Multi-million-dollar NFL football player Travis Kelce is part of a new movie, which is called My Dead Friend Zoe, which will be coming out here in March. And it's entirely funded by federal energy tax credits. Now, isn't that interesting? And VP Bishop could probably tell you that there's a giant market, multi-billion-dollar market for these energy tax credits. All this solar and wind is about federal tax credits, nothing about saving the planet from burning up in the year 2100. So I'm pleased to learn that your new VP is tuned in on how important your mission is, which is you're in a life and death business here. And I don't know that you fully appreciate that. So my question to the board is, how many OPPD customer owners will have to die from the cold until OPPD terminates its net zero policy? I've told you before many times about the Center for the American Experiment. They have modeled net zero in January in Wisconsin and Minnesota, and people die with blackouts. So we know that 587 people died in Texas during the blackout of 2021. So I did the numbers. And so my question here is it acceptable? Is the OPPD board willing to accept 15 dead Nebraskans
30 seconds.
before you terminate your policy? Weigh matters carefully. Think hardest about what matters most. What matters most is human life, not saving the planet. I've made my appeal to reason to you a number of times, but it apparently hasn't worked. So I'm going to do my appeal to reason, or appeal to emotion. That's my appeal to you today. So let's hear from one of America's greatest artists, Clint Eastwood. It's a hell of a thing killing a man. Take away all he's got and all he's ever going to have. So my point here is, you other 6 directors don't have to vote with Williams and
Time.
Moody. So think about that. Think about that carefully. Thank you very much.
Does anyone else in the room have any comments? Seeing none, do we have comments online?
David Corbin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay, David Corbin, Nebraska Sierra Club, 1002 North 49th Street. I spent another 3.5 hours on the Omaha Climate Action Plan, and I was glad to see that Jeremy Bowers was there representing OPPD. A lot of the things that were talked about today was education, community outreach, and English and other languages, depending on the part of the city. And part of the education is consistency and coordination. And one of the things that came up is that people should have, entities should agree on where the best source of information is, for example, about air quality, and lead people to that. Related to that, as I used to talk about for many years, and now that this climate action plan is going, I'll just bring it up again. Part of education is that people don't know how much electricity they use compared to others. And we know that if people start learning that they're using much more than other people, then they start changing their behavior. And that it's nice that you have the smart thermostats, but a lot of people don't understand at all. And Nebraska is one of the highest states in energy use per capita. I'm anxious to hear more details about the grants that were mentioned at the committee meetings. And I know that some of them you can't talk about yet because they're pending, but I'm really anxious to hear about what those grants are and the extent of them. And then finally, I just want to point out that Mr. Fleener will be presenting to the Missouri Valley Group Sierra Club on February 22nd, and we're appreciative of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments online? Sure, no weather update? Okay then, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.